How do you draw any object in two-point perspective? First, you need to be able to see two flat sides of the object. Both sides will be going towards a vanishing point, so you need to determine at what increments our new shapes line up with our simple box. For example, I have the side of this house with a door, window, and happy little box planter. We need to figure out where these objects touch the leading edge of our two-point perspective box. So draw horizontal lines to touch that edge. We do the same thing with the vertical marking points that touch the bottom of the house. Now we have all the indicating marks to successfully draw this object in two-point perspective. It is easiest to draw the leading edge so we can construct everything behind it. The leading edge needs to touch the ground line, which is usually located parallel and below the horizon line. Then draw the lines from the ground line and the leading edge to the corresponding vanishing points. Make sure that when you draw that leading edge, it is perpendicular to the ground line. Now I'm going to take the proportions of the flat side of the house and place them on the ground line and the leading edge, just like that. We now need to make a special vanishing point. This will help us know where we place the certain objects in two-point perspective. The special vanishing point needs to be closer to the leading edge of the horizon line than the widest point of the ground line marker. Because we're making the house in two-point perspective, it should be more narrow than the profile of the house. So line up the widest ground line marker with the widest point of the two perspective point edge of the house. And if you continue to draw that line, it hits the horizon line. That is your special vanishing point. Line up all the ground line markers with the special vanishing point and draw on the lines. The point of contact with vanishing point lines describes where these objects will exist in two-point perspective. Next, draw on the back edge of your object in perspective. Make sure it too is perpendicular to the horizon line. Then start drawing in the vanishing point lines from the leading edge of the house to the proper vanishing points by lining up the vertical markers to the corresponding vanishing point. In this case, it is the right vanishing point. Now construct the vertical section of the house by knowing how high the line goes. With the door, it's 4 points up to the top edge. So draw your line to that point. Do the same thing with the window and the happy planter box. And yes, I did have to do X marks the spot in the window to find the center of it. Lastly, I drew in everything else to its correct vanishing point and slope, even though the roof was free-handed. I couldn't just leave the happy planter box flat, so I had to pull it out, and I drew in a couple of pretty flowers. So the next video will show you how to do the same type of thing, but with a much more complex object. Thank you for your time. And I'd love to hear your thoughts about drawing any objects in two-point perspective accurately using this method or any other method that you might know about. Put your comments below. Thanks.